Hi everyone, I would love to urge you all to watch Newsbeam TV. It's educative, innovative, informative and entertaining. Thank you very much.
No, I must be sincere. I must be sincere. There are challenges. That is why I paused a bit before answering your question. But challenges have never made me to regret for 1 second of choosing this path. Okay. And maybe it's an opportunity to say it now. When I left secondary school, I had an opportunity of attending a secondary school that uses 2 languages as media of instruction. English and Arabic, we were languages. I had my O level and I have what we call up to today Thanawiya at ABU. So I took it in good faith that maybe that is what Allah preferred for me, because I must be sincere, at that level it wasn't a matter of choice. But subsequently, from that moment up till today, Islamic law has continued to be my best choice.
Hello, my name is Abdulrazak and I watch Newsbeam TV. Please join me.
As Law Students Association, University of Ilorin celebrated one of their teachers, Abdulrazak Alaro, MNI, a professor of Islamic law in the faculty. The award ceremony, which took place recently in Ilorin at the Faculty of Law Auditorium, amidst pomp and pageantry, was an annual event during which Professor Alaro, an accomplished expert in Islamic law of international repute, having given his best to the society, to the university, and to others who needed his services across the globe, was honored. In a speech, the Dean of the faculty, Professor Modupe Abdurrahim, highlighted some of the qualities of the honoree, Professor Alaro, as a man of impeccable character and as an academic of international repute.
Professor Abdulrazak Alaro MNI, a man of great intellect and integrity, an erudite scholar of Islamic law, who has traversed the nook and cranny of this country and beyond on the teaching of Islamic law. Professor Alaro is a renowned scholar of Islamic law, an academic by excellence, a great teacher, author, and an advocate of international repute.
Who also stood in for the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Wahab Olashukwu Egbewole San, commended the students in their choice of honoree and congratulated Professor Alaro for a well-deserved honor bestowed on him by the students' body.
Alaro MNI. It is customary of the Law Student Society in the last 6 years to honor erudite scholars from Faculty of Law who have excelled in their various fields. And this is the 6th one in the series. And as you have heard from various papers that have been read here, you will realize that we have mentioned eminent personalities from Faculty of Law that have been honored with similar events, and this is the 6th one in honor of the erudite scholar of Islamic law, Professor Alaro. For the period that I've ever been with Professor Alaro, and that is talking about the time he joined University of Ilorin, Professor Alaro is a kind-hearted man, a fine gentleman, an erudite scholar, an Islamic scholar of international repute.
Earlier, in his welcome address, Mr. Saheed Ayinde, the president of the Law Students Society, University of Ilorin, said that the annual lecture was a brainchild born out of the collective commitment of students and other stakeholders to celebrate outstanding legal minds and provoke intellectual discourse. Saheed added that his team of executives embarked on far and wide-reaching consultations to arrive at Professor Abdulrasheed Abdulmajid Alaro as the honoree for the 2024 award section in their annual event. He said the award and lecture He's a tradition of the society to honor distinguished personalities selected for recognition to showcase their good contributions to the university and the society at large.
Every year to stage major events, and one of those events is the annual personality lecture. And this event, the rationale behind it is to celebrate a distinguished personnel, a personality that has thrived both in academics, teaching, and research. Most of these personalities are experts in their fields, and they have made a giant stride in impacting the society, and not even only the students alone. Every year, of course, it's our tradition. One of the things we consider is to set up brilliant minds of individuals to consider the next person in line to be celebrated. And this year we have selected, in fact, different personalities across the department that we have in the faculty.
In his lecture, Professor Abdulmumini Oba, a lecturer at the Department of Jurisprudence and International Law of the university, enjoined Muslims to be acknowledgeable on the legal values of their actions. He stated that Islamic education is meant to clarify and enlighten Muslims to know what is halal, permissible, and haram, forbidden, adding that such education is mandatory.
Rules of Sharia. Sharia has its own rules governing appearance in court, representative appearance in court. So that is one lost opportunity. The area court rules says that if the case relates to Islamic personal law, the case should proceed according to Islamic law and procedure. So if you are using Islamic law and procedure, how can it be governed by the Legal Practitioners Act and the rules of legal practitioners' professional conduct? I should thought that they should have governed by the rules of Sharia. Now, one important distinction between the two is that traditionally, lawyers were not there in Sharia courts. The lawyers are a new development entirely. But it has always been allowed to have a legal agent. It's just an agent. He stands in the place of the client. So, it's not an officer of the court. He doesn't have a special place in the court. Now, lawyers have a special place. So, I just want to say that that is one lost opportunity which should be revisited. Another issue in Paisco's case was who is qualified to do ijtihad. The Court of Appeal said any judge can exercise ijtihad by looking to the original sources himself. Now, traditionally, what we have learned in Islamic law is that ideally you appoint a mujtahid as a judge, but mujtahids are not there. So the muqallid you appoint, but the muqallid follows the mujtahid, follows text, established text, the mashhur of his school, of his mazhab. It doesn't follow his own opinion. So those are two things that bothers me about Paiko's case. Now, I've reached the section where I'm not too sure that I'm organized. So, you have to bear with me. I will jumble things up a bit. I want to ask, we already have an idea of where we are. Where do we want to be? And I want to make maybe 5 or 4 propositions. Number 1, we want competent Islamic legal education. What I mean by competent is that the sort of Islamic legal education that will follow the Islamic system rather than the Western system. We want professionalization of Islamic legal education. It is, I think the time is right for the appointment, for the establishment of the Sharia Bar, of a Council for Islamic Legal Education. But as I've said, another option is to establish a professional body for Islamic law. Then the third factor or the third feature issue is that we want to make Islamic legal education responsive to contemporary needs. We all know, imagine.
Some students of the department also spoke on the essence of the annual lecture and person of Professor Alaro, his values and essence of the annual event in the department.
I'm by name Balogun Aminat, a 500 student of the prestigious Faculty of Law, University of Ilorin, Common and Islamic Law. I'll say that the honoree is knowledge himself. He is a mentor, a father, a very great person with great personality. Being the first professor of Islamic law in West Africa, you always have something to take away from him. You can't just go to him without having to earn one or two from.
Itopa, a 500 level student of Common and Islamic Law in the of Law. A distinguished person of international reputation. He is a professor of law and a scholar of Sharia. I was fortunate to enjoy from his knowledge in my 300 level, where I was taught Islamic commercial law. I was also taught in 500 level. He also teaches me in 500 level Islamic property law. So I've always been benefiting from his knowledge and his set of experience.
Some participants also expressed their views on developments in the Islamic law over the years, offered suggestions and criticism that could be of value to the Islamic law curriculum.
We are talking about Islamic legal education in all spheres of the academics. Now, in University of Ilorin as it is, we have Islamic law in 100 level. Then my question is, even non-Christians, non-Muslims rather, and non-combined law students, people who have applied to study common law. For those who have applied to study combined law, of course, they are having Islamic law. But non-Muslims are being compelled to study Islamic law in 100 level. And even in 300 level, there is also a course that is studying Islamic law. Now, my question is, how is this not infringing on their rights? Considering that Islamic law is a distinct source of law, and those that are studying common law know what they were doing when they applied to study common law. Thank you very much.
Of Islamic legal education and some other species of education, then our value system must be properly addressed. The value system must be properly addressed. So the Islamic scholars and Islamic leaders have a lot of things to do towards reorientating the Muslims in the area of Islamic legal education. Maybe I should try to, I don't know if I'm understood. Money, the desire of many people that are studying law these days is money. And the so-called money is technically residing at the breast or at the chest of common law. Yes, that's why some people that started combined law will have to diversify to common law after having graduated from the university, because they are very much interested in money but not in knowledge. So if we want the people that are said to be antagonists of Islamic legal education, Professor Oba, we God Almighty continue to protect him on high. He says sometimes when some people are trying to advocate for Islamic law, the people that be antagonists will be the people that are even learning in Islamic law or Islamic education. The reason is that those people have lost the standard value that they should have. Those people are now worshiping money instead of knowledge. This is not about Islamic law alone. It's general. People love money more than they love education. So our leaders should start from there, orientating us and the people that are younger than we are as regards love for knowledge, love for Islamic education better than the love for money. If that is taken care of, and what we need, the number of enemies and targets we have against Islamic legal education will be to the minimum. That's the first thing. And the second thing is this: Islamic law, I'm very sorry that I will have to say this. I'm very sorry, yes, I'm very sorry that I will have to say this. I'm not a scholar, but I'm not a dullard. Yes, I'm not. My seniors are here, what my seniors here with me, and my mates, they know. But sometimes Islamic law department pushes its students down. That's the fact. That's the fact. Sometimes it happens, not only the University of Ilorin, but some other universities. And these people sometimes feel that if I was a common law student, I would have graduated with first class. I would have graduated with 2-1, but now I graduate with 2-2. And that will create a kind of fear in the mind of a person to proceed again in the area of Islam. It's not about clapping. The department has to encourage the people to believe that they can do combined law and progress. They can do combined law and have good grades. Not that they can do combined law and you have to work with a person that is not as knowledgeable as they were when the university graduated with first class. I can say it authoritatively, Amshita, my mate at 2007 said, there's nothing they will teach me in class that will not grab. But you'll be forced down. So it creates a kind of fear, phobia in the minds of the students instead of them to progress to the level of A-level with the Sharia, the level of PhD with Sharia. I think that there might be some people out there that will force me that to have something that we're expected to have. So we have to address that as well. We don't like to on that.
The Department of Islamic Studies compare with the program or curriculum of combined law. I want to agree with the speaker on the content of BA Sharia of being more in-depth than the curriculum of LLB combined. So it's like an irony. Somebody will have an in-depth learning but is not recognized into the legal profession. And somebody, in fact, who found himself or herself in combined law because he couldn't get admission in common law, and he was not or is not interested at all in anything having to do with Sharia, but just to have admission and have, because he or she knows that after the degree, that is bye-bye to Sharia. Our interest is common law, but just to get admission. Now, looking at this, I was at Alaro University recently for the accreditation of their BA Sharia program, and look at the content, and you say, this is what I want for my program, Common Law Islamic Law. So the issue now is, there is this political will. Now these people will not be admitted into the remedial program you are suggesting for them. The Council of Legal Education will block it because of the professional rivalry, not interested in the growth of Sharia. So if you have to look at the content, it should be easy to allow these people to do remedial and go to the law and come to the back. But political will not be there. That's why, even in our own program, combined law, I had the privilege to draw the program of Alima. And when we were designing that program, I enlisted 2 other persons to join me. And we downloaded the curriculum of the Islamic University of Medina, Cairo. We gathered all this curriculum and see how we can move in our program. Again, political way. Immediately I left that place to return here, that program was cancelled and it was invited back to what we used to have here. So I think it's a serious dilemma that we should continue to think about. And like you said, it's quite unfortunate. The people who are grounded in Islamic law haven't studied where they have this opportunity. I look at their program in Saudi Arabia. In each level, you must have memorized Quran to a certain stage. So before you finish your LLB Sharia, you have memorized all of the Quran. Can you introduce such here? We have looked at several alternatives and made proposals, but the political way will not allow you to start. For instance, I know a university, after you finish your LLB become an Islamic law, if you want to go further in Sharia, before you are awarded your certificate, you do additional years in the same university, specializing purely in Sharia, and come out with a certificate to certify that even though you do common combined law, you have had further learning in Islamic law to make you a Sharia scholar. Now, my suggestion, Madam Oba, I think you are with me. Leaders in this profession and my understanding of interaction with people in decision-making level, you know, Madam, we have to be there to decide who come in. I'll be glad to have our honoree of today to become DG of the Nigerian Law School. Inshallah. Because these people take a lot of decisions because they are there. I think some of us are also having the opportunity of being there. But again, like you said, somebody who had this training of our own program is aspiring to improve Sharia. But why, unfortunately, those who have grounded knowledge in Sharia, they want to be more identified with common law when they have gone through the other program. So even we cannot be so sure that even when they get there, they're not promoting common law.
Many of those departments in Nigerian universities are not on talking terms. Yes or no? They are not on talking terms. They have relationships. When they need external examiner, in Islamic studies, they call Professor Zubair, Professor Alaro, Professor Abdulrazak. Apart from that, no other interaction. And when we too need, we call Dr. Blamid, we call Yaya Imam. Apart from that, that's the only interaction that I think those departments have. And I was suggesting to the PG sub-dean last week, I said, look, it is bad that a University of Ilorin, a whole University of Ilorin, we do not have standard translation schemes for Arabic. So when you look at thesis emanating from Islamic studies, emanating from Islamic law, you find all sorts of translation. I said this is not good enough. We should have a standard translation system. Now,
the climax of the event was a special presentation of gifts by friends of the honoree and taking of group photographs.
والذين آتيناهم الكتاب يفرحون بما.
The honoree spoke with Newsbeam TV crew on his feelings and acceptance of the award.
I'm Professor Abdulrazak Alaro, MNI, a professor in the Department of Islamic Law of the Faculty of Law, University of Ilorin. Challenges, that is why I paused a bit before answering your question. But challenges have never made me to regret for 1 second of choosing this path. Okay. Okay. That's a very long story. And maybe it's an opportunity to say it now. As a school leaver, when I left secondary school, I had an opportunity of attending a secondary school that uses 2 languages as media of instruction, English and Arabic. We were trained in both languages. And I had certificates in both languages. I had my O level and I have what we call up to today Thanawiya. To be honest with you, I was qualified by both certificates to go straight to the university. I really wanted to go and read Arabic. that was my choice. Okay. But I said it's a long story. Let me cut it short. I sat for JAMB in 1988 after finishing my secondary school, and I chose out of 3 universities that we were allowed to choose. I chose Arabic in 2. I'm making the 3rd one law, thinking that they would never consider me for that one. I did not even make it a first choice, but as Allah will have it. When the result came out, I scored very high. In those days, I scored about 260 something. It was relatively very high. And I got admission from JAMB saying you must go and read law. I was furious. I didn't like it really in the beginning. But I still remember up till today, one of my teachers, who was actually a role model for me in those days, and up till now, a professor of Arabic today, Professor Hamza Abdulrahim. He was my teacher at the secondary school level. Surprisingly, when he got to know of this development, he said, I think he will remember today, that Abdulrazak, may Allah bless whoever did that for you in JAMB. I said, what? He said, whoever did this must have seen you as having potential for something that is greater. And must have, because what I needed to study Arabic really was 200 or below. So scoring more than 260. So he said, a man must have taken that decision at JAMB that this boy is not serious. So take him to law. And in a university that was notorious then for not even considering anybody that chose it as a second choice. That's Ahmadu Bello University, Sarah. If you know I'm ABU in the 80s, the admission was a tug of war. So the admission came for me to go and read Arabic to go and read law at ABU. So I took it in good faith that maybe that is what Allah preferred for me, because I must be sincere, at that level it wasn't a matter of choice. But subsequently, from that moment up till today, Islamic law has continued to be my best choice.